What are you doing?
I'm going through a breakup, bro. It's hard, bro. You yourself even know heartbreak hurts.
Heartbreak does hurt.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Heartbreak hurts.
Okay, so come on.
Why do you think she left you?
No, it was mutual.
Why do you think she left you?
Listen, people outgrow each other, bro. People, sometimes in life, they don't work out, and that's just how life is, bro. You gotta understand and respect that. You know what I mean?
That's what girls say when they're f***ing someone else.
If you're a man who has a heart broken, a lot of them are so stupid that they may revert to the mindset that you've said. They may say, I don't want to have my heart broken again, but they haven't sat there and said, why did this happen? You have to know the why to prevent it from happening. You have to analyze the scenario and learn from it. One thing I'll say about women that's fantastic, one of the best things women are one of the things women are best at is they're a fantastic mirror. Women are a reflection. If you have any weakness inside of you, or if you have any downfalls as a person, a woman's gonna show you who they are. If you're too emotional, if you're too easy to get angry, she'll teach you that. She'll teach you that you can get angry too fast. Piss her off. If you're small, she'll tell you. She'll tell you exactly what is wrong with you when she is mad. She'll sit there and say, you got a short leg and your haircut shit. Get a new haircut. I hate your ugly ass. They'll tell you exactly what is wrong with you. When you look at your bad or your previous relationships with women that went wrong, you can sit there and go, okay, this all went wrong. What has she taught me? She taught me that I'm emotionally affectable. She taught me that if she ignores me, she gets more attention than if she's nice to me. She taught me, you have to sit there and analyze all the lessons and you have to implement them. It's the same with absolutely everything. But women are a fantastic mirror. A lot of these guys who resort to that are men who don't have the self-reflection to sit and say, okay, why did this happen? As a man, you have to be accountable for absolutely everything. Every single thing that happens is your fault. I didn't go to jail because of Romania. When I was in jail, it was my fault. Even though I don't believe it was just, even though I do not believe it was fair, even though I know I am innocent, it is my fault. Because I didn't have to become so influential. I did it. But it's also my fault when I'm on the jet and living my perfect life. I did that. I did the good, I did the bad. You made her leave you. You did. Whether you like it or not, you are the reason she became so cold. You are the reason she doesn't listen anymore. You are the reason she's so arrogant all 100%. Of a sudden. You are. You may not have identified why yet, but if you identify why, then you get into your next relationship healed and understanding what you did wrong and learn from it. That's what you have to do. But most of these men don't want the self-accountability.
I love that.
And they want to blame the women.
Yep.
You have to blame yourself. I know exactly now how to keep a woman happy. So I ain't got nothing to worry about. I've learned my lessons. I know exactly how to keep a woman happy. I know when to set a boundary, when to be nice. I know exactly what to do because I've self-analyzed. A lot of these red pill guys, they want to do exactly like you said, just run around and just bang chicks because they've never looked in the mirror and go, why do these chicks not want to just love me? Why am I a fuck up? You're not perfect. God is perfect. Nobody is perfect. You need to analyze yourself. And the truth is, as a man, a woman doesn't even have to like you. She doesn't even have to love you, but if she respects you, she's always going to be around. And this is why if I love a woman with all my heart and she goes, I want to leave, the first thing I'm going to say is, pack. Because if I say anything else, she's not going to respect me. Like if oh, please stay, I'll say, look, I don't want you to leave. I would like you to stay, but if you're going to talk shit and threaten me, you get the fuck out of my house. Like I've had women leave me, but I've never had a woman not respect me anymore. And that's why I can hit up any ex I've ever had, and I know they'll reply. Because they respect me on a base level. So why do they respect me? Because I respect myself. So I will never sacrifice my self-respect. I guess that's the bottom line. It doesn't matter if I love you. My self-respect has to come first. And that's good for me, and it's good for you. Because if I sacrifice my self-respect, you wouldn't love me anymore either, bitch. So that's just how it's gonna be. That's how I view the self, because that's how I view the world. It's how I always am. You know, you have to a degree, put yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to be like all about you. No one else is going to fix your life. I really don't believe no one else is going to make your life fantastic but you. You have to be all about you. And so many of these guys who get hurt, because I really believe guys get hurt more than women nowadays. This idea that men hurt women and break women's hearts. Okay, maybe I've broken a few. But besides the elite players like me, most of the time it's the women fucking the guys over. I really believe that. And a lot of the times they're getting screwed up is because they've tied their identity so intricately with this girl that they've lost their sense of self. You lose your sense of self, you can't have self-respect. And that's why she doesn't respect you anyway. And that's why it's all going downhill. And that's why you lose her and you panic and blah, blah, blah. You've got to be about yourself first. She has to be a compliment. So yeah, I've had my heart broken in regards to, I've had times women have left and I've really, really missed her. But I have never texted her first, ever.
What did you do with the pain of the heartbreak?
I did the same thing I do if my heart wasn't broken. I got up, I went in the gym, I lifted a bunch of weights, I got in my fast car, I drove down the road looking sexy as bought a Starbucks and made some money. It doesn't matter. How I feel has no bearing on how I live my life.
What are you doing?
I'm going through a breakup, bro. It's hard, bro. Stop being so hard on me. Damn, dude. You yourself even know heartbreak hurts.
Heartbreak does hurt.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Heartbreak hurts.
Okay, so come on. Bear with me a little bit, bro.
How long ago did you break up?
About a month or two ago.
Why do you think she left you?
No, it was mutual.
Why do you think she left you?
It was mutual. Listen, people outgrow each other, bro. People, sometimes in life, they don't work out, and that's just how life is, bro. You gotta understand and respect that. You know what I mean?
That's what girls say when they're f***ing someone else. People outgrow each other. It's not you, it's me. You know what? You're a really good friend. I don't see you that way. Once they have a new to gobble on, that's usually what happens. So who does she? Do you know yet? Did you even find out?
No, and I don't think she is anyone.
Oh yeah, she left you to be by herself. She left you to sit at home alone and watch TV. Yeah, 100%. 100% that's why she left you, G. She left you because she just really wanted to sit at home by herself, not to run around with some other dude. You're totally right. She's a good person. She's different than all the rest. Completely agree. She ain't f***ing nobody. Don't worry, you can sleep just fine at night. Maybe you should text her when you're lonely. Send her a text. She might text back this time. She's definitely not with some dude. You know all those other times she didn't reply? She was tired. She was asleep. Don't worry about it. This time she might text back. Miss you too. Wish we could have worked out. There's not some dude like me sitting next to her laughing at your messages.
Bro, you're a weird as She made an OnlyFans yesterday.
She's been doing a lot more than that, G. I don't know why you're worried about website. OnlyFans. That's a website. Don't worry about that. She's been up to a lot more.
No,
how many times she not replied to you at night?
She's
how many times she been asleep by 9 p.m.?
She's different, bro. She's different.
She's
so.
different. Yeah. She's super
She is.
different, bro. 100%. She's so different. You know your problem? If I split up with a girl, I sit there and understand that females don't like to downgrade. And I say, okay, she now has to meet another man with hundreds of millions of dollars, who's an ex-athlete or kickboxing world champion, who's strong and smart and interesting and funny, and the most famous martyr of earth for trying to crack the matrix. There's no competition, but your problem is, you're so f***ing normal. Yeah, you have a Twitch stream, who gives a shit? You look like Joe Schmo, you act like Joe Schmo, you do Joe Schmo shit. So if she'll f*** a man like you, she'll f*** basically anybody. And that means that she can get a guy from KFC or Starbucks or f***ing some other random Twitch clown, and you can get replaced so quick. That's what your problem is. I don't have that problem. You do. So if you think you're so special, Aiden, that through all these months, she couldn't find some other guy in terrible shape who drinks soy lattes with enough money to afford a shitty apartment in LA, then you are out of your mind. Because I guarantee she could. And has.
So weird.
And it's done.
You're weird as Okay, listen, bro.
I
Whatever.
said, I'm not weird. I tell you the truth.
You are, bro.
What's weird about the truth? The truth is beautiful. You must accept and embrace it. You must look in the mirror and accept that I am right. And you need to become a formidable force of man that cannot be replaced or replicated anywhere else on God's green earth. That's what you must do. You are failing yourself and God. That's why she left you, Aiden. That's why she left you.
That's why. Because I failed God. I'm
correct.
God.
You're failing God. If you were the best version of yourself and you were waking up every day trying your absolute best to be a unique and special individual, then you would not be failing God any longer and he would not plague you with this bad luck. Now you're sitting here upset over some bitch who has replaced you, and you deserve it.
So what do I do, Andrew?
I've told you what to do. I've told you what to do since we've ever started fucking talking. I told you to become a man of substance. I said, come here and I will train you. I will turn you into an animal, a predator, a monster. Yeah, maybe later. Soy latte, please, from Starbucks. You're a f*** up, Aiden. You're a f*** up.
Well, emotions are feedback. The idea that men don't feel emotions is incorrect. We feel emotions. I would actually argue we feel emotions with certain emotions stronger than women. I would argue that we feel heartbreak stronger than women. I would argue we feel anger like a woman could never understand. I would argue we are extremely emotional.
Rage.
Pure rage. But it's feedback. So when you get the feedback, it's all about how you internalize that and how you process it, right? It's having, stoicism's not feeling emotions. It's feeling the emotion and going, okay, why is this happening? How much does this really matter? What's the most intelligent move on the chessboard? Chess is a fantastic game because in the game of chess, there's no luck. If you lose, no matter how well you played, if you lose, at some point you made a mistake. Even if it's the most minor mistake, you made a mistake. So you learn to understand that no matter what happens to you, if you lose a scenario, you made a mistake. Maybe it's a tiny one, maybe it was 2 years ago, whatever, but you made a mistake and you learn absolute and utter accountability for yourself. And that mentality is extremely powerful to apply to all things in life. The position I'm in now as the most hated man in the world, although I agree and I truly believe it's unfair, I still take complete responsibility for. I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm telling you why it happened when I talk about TikTok and YouTube shorts, but I'm not going to blame them. Absolutely. They're a company making money and they're monetizing the best they can. Fantastic. All of this is my fault. But the Bugatti on my drive is my fault. And the yacht is my fault. And the private jet's my fault. So it's all my fault. So I take the good with the bad. I take all responsibility for absolutely everything, including if a woman leaves me, if a woman stays, if I end up heartbroken, if I end up filled with rage, I take responsibility for that. If something happens to me that makes me enraged, I will take responsibility. Why has this happened to me? Why do I feel this way? How did I end up in this position? Is this healthy in this scenario? And sometimes it is. I've had scenarios in my life where I was prepared to die to protect somebody else, and I was enraged and it was healthy. I've also had times where I'm in a room by myself, enraged, sitting there going, this is no good for anybody. I need to just calm the down. So emotions are feedback, but stoicism is the ability to process them. And that's what you need to learn as a man. You're never going to be able to turn them off. You're going to feel them. You have to learn how to process them and turn them into a positive. It's energy. It's unlimited energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another. And you have to look at that and understand that the sadness inside of you is energy. You can't destroy it, but you can convert it into something else which is constructive. And you just have to suck it up, buttercup, and get over it. Yeah. And there's no other way to do it. And obviously having an abundance of women makes that easier. But I wouldn't even put it that way. I'd say if you were with a woman and you lost her and you're now lonely and she's going to be moving on and you're absolutely not heartbroken and you're destroyed inside, I understand how difficult that is. But now you have genuine sadness inside of you, which is unlimited motivation for you to become a fucking beast, become an animal. And by the time you're finished becoming an animal, you won't care anymore. So if you really want to cure yourself, you just say, I'm going to get a 6-pack and I'm going to get bigger arms. And by the time my arms are this size and I have a 6-pack, then I'm going to think about that bitch. And you'll realize that you don't give a shit about her anymore. That's just the way the world works. I'm saying that it's a very dangerous battlefield now. When you were saying, I feel sorry for the young people, so do I. It's hard now. Imagine being 15 with social medias and these kind of things. It's nuts. Imagine being a 19-year-old boy now. Every 19-year-old girl you're in love with is on Instagram dating 40-year-old billionaires. It's crazy. And I'm saying that a lot of the men, who are the most heartbroken, who are most upset, people underestimate how important the relationship between a man and a woman is in the masculine life. I can tell you right now, you can give a man everything, but if he's arguing with his chick, his head's fucked. His head's fucked. It doesn't matter. It's so important. And I'm saying the best chance you have to negate these things is experience with women. You need a degree of experience as a man. Women innately want it. You see a woman who's unhappy with her boyfriend because he's simping or he's acting stupid or he always just chases me around. Women will tell you themselves, he's boring, It's true. You need to get to the point where you have enough abundance and you've been about the game long enough that you can say, that's a shit test, she's playing games, goodbye. You have to. And I'm saying the only way you can do that is with experience and abundance. So as a man, you need to do your thing, get to a point where you meet the one and settle down. But to sit and say that period where you do your thing isn't necessary, I completely disagree with that. I think you're gonna end up wrecked if you don't do it. In the modern world, with Instagram, with this, with everyone after his chick, when he's Joe Schmo and I'm messaging her, it's over. And I'm saying the best advice you can give the guy is when he gets his heart broken and he's truly destroyed is you need to become a man that women don't leave. So you gotta get in the gym, and you gotta get more important, and you gotta get more women, and you just gotta become that guy. There's no other way to do it. Yeah. I say this all the time. I say that the biggest periods of transformation in my life is when everything was going wrong. When my life was going good, I'm not a hedonistic person. I don't do drugs. I don't gamble. I don't do prostitutes. I don't do anything that hedonistic. But I'll certainly go on the yacht with a bunch of women I know and chill and have some vodkas and that kind of thing. When life's smooth, then it's semi-hedonistic, pretty relaxed. But when I make my biggest progress, when I really change who I am and change the world, that's when everything's f***ed. When things go wrong, or I'm feeling things I don't want to feel, or bad things are happening, that's when I'm like, okay, I currently cannot sleep. I've completed the day's tasks. I've tried to go to bed. I can't sleep. More shit has to get done. That's when the amazing things happen in my life. When I was heartbroken, when I was whatever, well, everyone's been heartbroken. I can't remember a specific example. I hit the gym harder, right? If something goes wrong with your payment processor, that's when you get inventive. That's business, right? That's when you get inventive. So all the bad things that happen to you as a man, if you're stoic, you get to take unlimited energy. Heartbreak is unlimited energy. So is depression. So is rage. So is sadness. All these negative emotions they tell you to collapse behind. It's like people talk like Bruce Lee says, be like water. And people see that as be fluid and just go with the flow. I disagree. If you're like water, you're necessary for life. You are scary when you're enraged. You're powerful. You're beautiful when you're calm. You're so many things when you're like water, right? So if I'm enraged, it's like water behind a dam. You just got to put the dam in place. And you got to get the turbo, the hydroelectrics put in. Don't tsunami your life. Put the energy somewhere. And this is the most beautiful thing about it, because people message me all the time like, oh, but Tate, you don't know how sad I feel. No, incorrect. I know exactly how sad you feel. The difference is I used it. And you're sitting here still crying, some random guy on email for the third month in a row. That's the difference between you and me, my friend. I was becoming a world champion kickboxer. I got to a point, people often talk about depression and say I don't understand it. I will say, listen, there's been times in my life where I was fully functional as an adult. I would never label myself depressed because I don't believe in the idea of labeling myself in the negative, because I don't believe in things that take power from me, which we'll talk about in a second. But there's been times in my life where I didn't give a fuck if I lived or died. There's been times in my life where I went to fight a man for money, and I didn't give a shit if I lost and even woke up again. I had nothing worth living for. I was brokey, didn't have a girlfriend, didn't have any money, got a 2-day call to fight some world champion, had to lose 10 kilos in 2 days, had nothing else going for me, got on a plane to Dagestan and fucking won. There's been times I've done that. By all conventional wisdom, I was depressed, I was suicidal, but I was just like, no, I don't give a shit. And that's when I was at my most powerful. Now if I get that call, I'm like, bro, I got a new car outside and shit.
I'm not going to Dagestan, bro.
Wait, going to where? Sorry, how much money? Nah. But back then I was like, yeah, cool. Who is he? Oh, this guy. All right, fine. I didn't give a I was most powerful when I was sad, when I was depressed, when all these things. And the difference was the framing.
So can we go back to the heartbreak shit? Like when how old were you when you dealt with your first heartbreak, and like how long did it take for you to get over it? And anyone that's listening right now that's going through a heartbreak or a similar situation, what do you have advice for them, and how do you get over it?
It's actually very interesting, the masculine experience, because I like to believe that most men on the planet have lived a semi-similar timeline. Even me, Lord of Earth, Top G, the most interesting, compendious, smart, funny, tall, strong, and brilliant human to possibly ever live, has been through a very similar timeline to a worm like you. And it's quite an interesting thing. Yes, you are a worm. Be quiet. Listen. You're a worm! Shut up! It's very interesting that all of us as men experience a very similar human paradigm, and that is that most men are born and you're not important, and then you go to school and you fall in love with some girl in school and she fucks someone else, and then you realize that all the 19-year-olds you want when you're 19 are with older dudes because they have cars or whatever, and you go through this experience of getting your heart broken and losing your girlfriend, etc., and many men latch on to some average or accept they're gonna have their heart broken forever, but some men decide to become so big and important and strong and irreplaceable that they never have to suffer heartbreak again. Because every man deals with heartbreak and deals with sadness, but how you use that energy is the differentiator between humans, right? You are feeling the same pain that many men have felt. I, as a man, every man out there has had his heart broken and understands how difficult it is as a man. We all know how hard it is to see the girl you love getting plowed. Yeah, to getting plowed by someone else, like you have to deal with now. You can log into our OnlyFans and see it. But it's true. It's boy, girl. That's why she started the account. But the difference between me and you, and perhaps some of the other men out there, is that certain men take that anguish and take that sadness and understand that energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted, and use it to build themselves into a man of absolute standing and power, as opposed to sitting around off like you just told me you do. You are a waste. You are wasting your energy. Heartbreak is unlimited motivation. If I was heartbroken, it's been a very long time, but if I was heartbroken, I'd be in the gym every morning. I'd be a beast. I'd be running. I'd be working. I couldn't sleep. I'd be an absolute animal. And you're heartbroken, and what are you doing? Off like a fucking dumbass. Of course I'm right. So I understand very, very well heartbreak. Every man does. This is what's so amazing about the masculine experience. Even the top G and a worm have lived a very similar-ish timeline. The difference is, as a man, you must build yourself into a man of credibility, which means to build yourself into a man of standing, we all start in a fairly similar position. I became me through tedious, arduous, difficult, never-ending work. You are wasting your time. And by the time you finally realize I'm right, you're gonna be too old for anyone to give a shit. Because at your age, how old are you again? 20-something?
22.
22. At
Andrew,
22, I could
Andrew.
split the earth's core! You should be so strong! You know why God made your girl leave you? Because he wanted to show you that you ain't shit. He wanted to show you that your little Twitch stream and the arrogance you've built with your stupid social media accounts controlled by the Matrix, and that your little dumb parties with Instagram hoes and whatever else you're doing means nothing. He wanted to show you that you are human and you're fallible and that you're very replaceable. So he decided to make you fall in love with a girl, and he decided to make her leave you to show you that you are a dickhead. Now it is your job to look at the board, understand what's happened, say, I understand, God, I deserve that. I'm glad she left me and I'm sad because I am a dickhead, and do something about it. Because if you refuse, if you ignore God's message, next time you fall in love with a bitch, guess what he's gonna do?
What?
He's gonna make her leave you to remind you once again that you are a dickhead. Every single man out here, if you're upset that your girl's leaving you, God is reminding you that you aren't worth shit. You need to get up and work so hard that even in the eyes of God, he is proud of you. God loves his creations, which show him their true potential and beauty. By getting up and trying your absolute best and becoming a man of moral standing, he will reward you and bless you endlessly. If you continue to be a dickhead, God will remind you you're a dickhead. So God just broke your heart on purpose to show you that the way you're living your life and the man you are simply are not good enough. What have you changed since? Nothing. Fucking nothing. You think God's gonna forgive you for no reason? You think God's gonna go, oh, that little dickhead Aiden, it's fine. He hasn't learned his lesson. He hasn't changed. He isn't even trying very hard. He's not up early in the gym. He ain't doing nothing. It's fine. Let's just let him fall in love and let's make sure the girl doesn't fuck someone else on OnlyFans this time. No, sir! This is gonna repeat endlessly. It's a cycle that will not fucking change until you take the message from God and become the man you're supposed to be.